Welcome to The Little Things You Hear Together, where we dive into Broadway cast albums to figure out why some hit harder than others. My name is Alex Asp, and my guest today is my friend and director, Jeff Anderson. Hello and welcome.
Hi, hello. How's it going?
So good. Are you so excited to be talking about this today?
I'm so excited to be on your podcast. Yeah.
What a great non-answer.
What? No, never.
So what are we talking about today?
So we are going to talk about Late Night Comic.
Your new favorite show.
My new favorite show that, so good.
What is your relationship with this show, this album?
I've never heard of this show until you were like, hey, this is the show that I'd like you to talk about. And I was like, great, okay. What is it? The plot?
As much as there is a plot, from a high level, what would you say this show is about?
It is about a guy who's trying to become a stand-up comedian, and it's all centered around his jokes. And I think the whole point of it is that the jokes don't land. But then it also is like,
I don't know if that's the point of it. It's just the unfortunate reality.
A love story?
Yeah.
Between him and this woman named Gabriella. It's an interesting vibe.
As we're going through, this is a show that is mostly forgotten to Broadway history. There's not a whole lot to be found online about it. So there's really no way, unless you have a copy of the script, which is out there, that you would have any great idea of what the plot is in any detail. So as we go through, we're going to be doing the best we can to try to string these songs together, but...
Yeah, it was really hard to try to, prepare.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're going crazy, but it's just the album. So the music and lyrics are by Brian Gari, who's also the primary vocalist. How familiar are you with the journey that this album had?
Not familiar at all. I mean, I think the journey itself is actually pretty cool in a way where the show lasted 4 performances, and typically you don't get a recording of when it happens. And so for him to be able to have that conversation and get a recording, I think to preserve the music regardless, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he has people in high places, I feel like.
Yeah, somehow he had a connection with the people at Original Cast Records, and their specialty is short-running shows that otherwise probably would not get an album.
Do they still do that?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
We don't quite get a true cast album, so it is, I admit, controversial to include this on the podcast because this is a studio recording. So the show opened and closed in October of 87, and then in March of 88, he recorded this. Most of the songs are sung by him, as well as a couple friends. And so it is not a true cast album where a character sings only their songs and a different person sings a different character's songs. But
right. So
this is all we have.
Full disclosure, I didn't look at the playbill first, and I was listening to the soundtrack first, and I know that Robert Lapone played it on Broadway.
Yes, brother of Patti.
I was low-key with a legend like Patti LuPone, and he was in Chorus Line too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out how that was the same person, because on Spotify, it just has, sometimes with Broadway musicals, it just has the composer.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that was Brian and not Robert for 2 times. And so then I finally looked up things and I was like, oh, okay, got it. Okay, we're here.
Yes. The purpose of the recording, as Brian Gari put it, was to try to present the songs as they were originally written and intended. So part of that also is the order of songs on this album does not quite match what was in the show. And at least one cut song was included because he wanted it to be included on this album. So it is the only thing we have other than they did a 2007 studio recording with quite the cast of all-stars.
Yes.
Some of them would become even bigger after the fact, but some of them were already quite well-established big hitters.
Yeah, like Liz.
Yeah, Liz Calloway, Brian Darcy James, Julia Murney, a lot of great people, Martin Vidnovic, names that you would know from other things. And they put this album together, which... So the music was reorchestrated for the 88 studio album.
Correct.
For, I would assume, 2 or 3 synthesizers to try to give a different sound that was cheaper. And so they used the original orchestrations by Larry Hochman in the 2007 recording. But it is 100% Finale Notepad playback. That is all MIDI sound.
Oh, I did not know that.
So as someone who had Finale Notepad in 2007, I know those sounds very well from putting in different scores because I was a nerd. And that's how the playback sounds. It is incredibly artificial. So I think it's funny that they could get all these big names, but couldn't get live musicians.
But I feel like that's the vibe. I feel like that was the point, no? Because, think about what the original sounds like. I feel like that is the vibe they were going for.
But I'm not sure that was the vibe on Broadway. that's what we have on the album. But I think on Broadway, well, they had to have live musicians because of equity.
Yeah. I think that, so from what I understood about the 20th anniversary album was to like do a very similar thing what they did with the original album, not necessarily like what they did on Broadway. So like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, that would be my take.
So we will be kind of comparing these two albums as we go along, more than I would say average, just because it can give us a better sense of how does this song hit you as a song versus just because it's Brian, the composer, singing it to us.
Sure.
So we'll kind of go through that as we hit each track. So I've been trying to read the reviews of shows this season as I'm preparing for the podcast episodes, and Frank Rich was brutal for this. And I pulled a couple of quotes because I found them so entertaining. One was, "This is a musical comedy about a stand-up comic in which the hero tells not a single funny joke." And then, "If Mr. Gary's music and lyrics are pedestrian, Mr. Knee's book is a jaywalker, moving every which way to no apparent purpose."
Alex, I thought, oh my gosh, I thought that was the point of the show, is that like he doesn't tell any real jokes.
Nope. He's supposed to be funny.
I thought that was the joke. That wasn't funny.
Maybe they should have leaned into that a bit more.
Whoops.
So if you go to Google Books and search for the
I
libretto,
read it.
You can read portions of the
script.
And it is clunky as hell.
But I thought the whole point of the show was that he wasn't funny.
No, that's why it didn't do well, because he wasn't funny.
Where did I go wrong? Where did I stray?
You assumed good intentions and you assumed the best about people.
But here's the thing. Okay, so I do think the plot, I think the idea is cool, right? Especially like in the 80s with like late night comics that were such a thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
and
like
it is
the
confusing.
concept for this story in this time, people funded it. So like there had to be like an interest for it.
So, couple things. One, this entire production was funded by one individual.
Okay.
The producer schmoozed the right guy who gave them the $1.1 million to put it up.
Okay.
So they had one person that liked it. Two, it is confusing because the terms are the same, but I believe this is more about like a comedy club where you have a late night slot.
That's where like people start, right?
Yeah, but it is separate from the late night TV shows.
Sure, but a
lot of people
late
are doing
night people
both.
Like
you prove yourself in the clubs to be able to
correct.
get on the show.
So like I feel like that was a very hip thing in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean people like Jerry Seinfeld got quite famous from starting in the clubs, getting onto shows, and then getting their own shows.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a big thing.
Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I just think in that time it was people like went and saw stand up. We consumed that. So like I think the storyline could have done well
with a better writer.
Those were your words, not mine.
Yeah.
And New York Times.
And Frank Rich. So should we just dive into these songs?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, no time like the present.
Exactly. So we do have an overture. It is, considering the songs that we have to work with, it's a serviceable overture.
It sounds like elevator music.
Well, yeah. Part of it is just the
vibe.
synthesizer, light jazz kind of sound. But it does include many of the songs from the show, as an overture does. But it's we're going to do this song, and then we're going to move on to this song, and then we're going to move on to this song. And on the 2007 recording, it's the original orchestrations, and the orchestrator is typically who puts together the overture. So presumably this is the original overture on the 2007 recording, and it is much more artfully done, I would say.
Yeah. I feel like the original recording is in black and white, and then the 2007 is in color. I feel like that's the best way that I could describe it. Do you know what I mean?
Also, literally, the album cover for this is black and white.
Well, yeah, okay. Sure.
But no, I know what you mean.
I meant sound-wise, sir.
Yes, but the synth fest is real. I don't have a good enough ear to be able to tell how many synthesizers are going.
I have no idea.
At least 2, because we're getting different sounds at the same time. But I would guess 3, but that's just a guess. But yeah, it definitely, having nothing but synths gives it that elevator music kind of a vibe for sure.
Yeah, I think why I was like late night show is I feel like it sounds like the intro for a late night show.
Yeah, I can see that.
So like that is, I know what you're talking about, the stand-up comic and how they don't relate, but they kind of relate. And so like in my head, when I was listening to it for the very first time, that's where I went. Is like very much like the beginning of.
Yeah, very understandable.
So that was my thought process.
I get it. The next track is Stand Up, which was written to be the opener, but was actually moved later in Act 1 before the show opened on Broadway. But again, this is how Brian Gari envisioned the show, and so he put it back up at the top.
Yeah, what was the first song then in the musical?
So the initial song was Gabrielle, which is a hell of an opening
Weird.
song.
What a weird. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And
Okay, so
as
I'm
many
going to
people
agree
have
with Brian
said,
then in this situation because I
Yeah.
think that stand up really sets the tone. Like,
it is an opening song. It's establishing what he wants.
right, because he like sings about how like he wants to be a comic, and yeah,
I mean, Jerome Robbins is the one that said, you have to set the right tone from the beginning or else they're not going to get anything else that follows. So if your opening song is Gabrielle, you're never going to get people on board to really understand what you're doing because it makes no sense for that to be the opener. In this song, though, we're getting fairly basic pop sound, which is kind of the whole vibe of the album. But I could do without every line ending with, because I'm going to be a stand-up, because I want to be a stand-up.
Yeah, but
How many times do we need to hear that?
I know, but that's why I'm like so mind blown right now that this wasn't the first song because it is very clear what the plot is.
Yeah.
Well,
Overly
like,
clear.
The overall plot, because who knows what the plot actually is.
I am not your piano man or Billy Joel. I just wanna be a stand-up. I forgot Unforgettable by Nat King Cole. I just wanna be a stand-up. I am not singing my way for the 100th time. I don't care if you got your hand up. You can put it down, 'cause I'm getting up. And I'm gonna be a stand-up.
The aim of the song is very clear.
It gives like very hero. I feel like the point, and maybe I'm really far off of this, is like this is the moment that you're supposed to like root for him.
Yeah.
This is his dream. This is what he wants to do. He's gonna do it come hell or high waters. So this is where I was like, oh, okay. So this, because this is the first song I ever like. I listened to Overture first, and then this is the first song I ever listened to the show. And I was like, oh, okay. So like it gave me like proud of your boy moments a little bit. He was like, I'm gonna do this. He was going on an adventure, right? So I was like, okay, let's go on this adventure. What adventure did we go on?
Yeah,
Who knows?
That's a whole other question that we may or may not answer here. But I do appreciate the rhyming of Harold Arlen and George Carlin. Structurally, it works well because the whole thing is basically he works as a piano player in I would guess, a bar. The real life story that's based off of, I think, Brian Gari played in between comics at a comedy club, and then he used that as the basis for this character. So I'm not sure if he's at like just a typical piano bar or if it's similarly at a comedy club, but he's saying how I don't want to play the piano anymore. I just want to be a stand-up. So to go from Harold Arlen, and then they have a little interlude of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, to then rhyme with a comedian was
It's like
honestly
some Lin-Manuel
one of
stuff
the
right
more
there.
artfully done lyrics in this whole show, which is not saying a lot. But
We're gonna get canceled for this.
I'm through playing Harold Arlen. I'll be the next George Carlin.
so this song, you can see that Brian Gari has a nice voice, but he does not have much of a range. So this, he didn't write these songs for himself to be singing. So some of those high notes definitely
We strained
are
a little bit.
a bit strainy,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
So I also thought, like, is this like the goal? So this is the moment that I was going to talk to you about the Jonathan Groff thing,
Okay.
because you guys were talking about who was your guest for that? Was it Zach?
No, that was Kyle Marshall.
Okay, Kyle. Yes. Okay. So I was so sorry, Kyle. When you guys were talking about how he was like, it has to have like this nerdy feel for like Seymour, and Jonathan just sounds like too hot. Because obviously he is. But like, I thought that was the vibe that we were going for this. It was like he was supposed to be like, you know what, like a little nerdy, like the Seymour vibe, I guess, is what I thought the goal was before I realized it wasn't Robert LaPone singing the song.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So like, that's why I thought this was intentional.
And who knows? I mean, it's tough because this is not the Broadway cast.
Why
and
do you
so
think that Robert LaPone wouldn't? Do you think he wouldn't do it?
I'm guessing there were not
Funds?
funds to actually hire the actors back. So most of it is Brian himself singing, and then one of the ensemble members sings on a few songs, and then a couple people that I'm guessing he knew maybe owed him a favor or something, or at least were willing to work for fairly cheap because they were not involved in the production originally. But I think this was just done literally for the sake of have it recorded for posterity. And I'm
Which
very
I
glad they
think is
did.
cool.
I think every Broadway show should have a cast recording, even if it is as bare bones as this, or even more bare bones, because a lot of things have been lost, which are sad. But it's a tricky balance to read into intentions of the show based on this recording.
Correct. Is it just the vocals, like how much acting is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought the vibe was, is he was supposed to be like nerdy and like, but there are some strains, like it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Seems like a little, like a baritone, not a tenor.
Yeah. In the anniversary recording, this song is performed by Chip Zien, who really is the perfect character for this kind of a person, I think. Like, it was a very good choice to have him sing this song. But even with Chip, the song is so repetitive, I get bored very quickly. So not even Chip could make me stay in it the whole song.
It's so interesting because isn't that like the pop concept? Like, think about pop songs that we listen to.
Yeah.
And it's so repetitive. Was that the idea?
Maybe.
Because I knew the words.
Yeah.
I knew where we were going to end.
Maybe that was the concept.
But then you also know what the song is called, right? Because it's typically, usually...
Because he repeats it 3 times at the end.
Usually in musical theater, it's always the tagline of the song that they're singing is like what the song is usually called. So
Yeah,
we follow that formula.
And you'll never catch me when I'm sitting down, 'cause I'm gonna be a stand-up, stand-up, stand-up.
In general, this whole show, the lyrics especially, but to a certain extent the music as well, feels to me like a middle schooler who has great promise. They write their first show, and then somebody gives them feedback to go and become better.
Was this his first show?
I think this is his only show.
I mean, he's got a lot of albums. I was like looking at his website.
Yeah, I don't know if he just was trying to stretch outside of what he was used to write a Broadway show and it wasn't successful, or I don't know because I haven't listened to his other stuff. But the lyrics are often quite painful for me.
Okay. I don't know if I would use the word painful. I just think that maybe we had better choices.
Yeah, I would say only a few of them were actually painful. As I'm sure I'll mention them
I'm
as we go
very
through.
excited to find out like which ones were truly painful.
Yes. So in the course of this opening number, which he apparently is at the club performing, he's singing as a piano player about how he doesn't want to be a piano player at the club.
Do you think he gets fired?
Well, he keeps playing because the next song is Gabrielle.
Oh yeah, because
She
in the
comes up to
script,
him.
he also has this like really long monologue.
Yeah, that was not interesting to me. But she comes up and she's essentially avoiding her date and talking to him. So he didn't get fired because he's still playing for her to come up
That's
to
true.
talk to him. But we learn, again, this is in the script, not in the album, that her name was originally Janet, and she read about some celebrity named Gabrielle who things were going well for, and so she changed her
It's
name.
like, my name's gonna be Gabrielle.
And then that will make all my dreams come true, just changing my name. So I don't know if she's supposed to be a little simple, but it's a weird thing that kind of keeps happening.
I want to know her backstory. Like, I want to talk to the actor about like, who is Gabrielle? Is she trying to like run from something? Because she changes her name like several times in the show.
Well, at least once more, because we get that at the end. But who knows what's in between. I will say, so for this song, the lyrics being very simple makes sense to me because he is improvising this song for her while she's standing next to him. So if you're improvising a song, you're going to use a much more simple rhyme scheme because you're going to give yourself options for the next line to have things to rhyme with. So if the rest of the lyrics on this album were better, I would be totally on board with these being super basic. I'm not sure that was intentional though. I think it was just
I didn't hate it.
everything
I mean,
else.
like, it like establishes the love story.
Yeah. And unlike the first song where every line ends with the title of the song, every line in this song begins with the title of the song.
Yes.
So we're getting range.
Variety is good though, man.
Yes.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah. I mean, we do get at least a hint of her name changing thing because he sings
Gabrielle, I don't know where you came from, Gabrielle. Where did you get that name from, Gabrielle? I do agree that Janet isn't right for you, but can it change your life?
So if you don't have the script, which until Google started putting excerpts of things online, most people would not have had that. You'd be like, what is this? Who is Janet? Why are we talking about Janet?
I'm Janet. Oh, wrong show. Okay, sorry. I mean, why don't we like Janet, though? Because there's so many songs. Janet, Jazzy Chaperone, Rocky Horror.
I don't know why.
But we're like, let's go with Gabrielle.
My mom's name is Janet, so I like that name.
Janet's a good name.
Yeah. And Gabrielle, and it's fine. But there are several things throughout this album where you can tell that Brian Gari is not primarily a singer. But the one that drives me crazy is in this song at the end, it's
Oh, the breathing.
like in the middle of the name. Seriously, come on.
Okay, so I didn't mind the first song with his like technique and the thought process of, oh, he's like supposed to be nerdy and he's supposed to be like fun and quirky. And then is he trying to be like sly in this moment? Is he trying to be like a man's man? Because like later in the show, he has a song where he sings about a bunch of women. And so it's like, what's the vibe of this guy?
Yeah.
Is he getting laid a lot? So like when he sings this song, I don't know if I would be like, I'll go home with this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, she doesn't. She goes back to her date.
That's
and
true.
somehow they reconnect later.
Yes. Okay. I tried to figure out how they reconnect, but pages 14 and 15 don't exist on it. Anyway, we'll talk about that. But I want to know how she got to the apartment.
I will say, musically, I think this is one of the better songs in the show. And on the anniversary album, this is sung by Brian Darcy James, and I think it's quite lovely. I think he puts a lot of emotion into it that makes it feel more real.
Listen, Brian Darcy James can sing me the phone book.
Exactly.
And I would have gone home with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's straight, which is great, but like, so good.
This is one where I think a lot of my not enjoyment of it on our album here is more just not vibing with Brian Gary's voice. But then Brian Darcy James, I'm like, okay, yeah, I like the song. I can get on board with this.
Yeah, I like the vibe of Brian Darcy James in the song.
And then the next track is The Best in the Business. So I think this is a very clever idea. In the course of the song, we have, I think, 4 club owners, and he's going to them trying to get a spot. And they all are very dismissive of him and saying that they don't think he has it and they should know because they're the best in the business. But
And
then
they've
the
been in
last
the
line,
business for 5 minutes.
yeah, the last line of each verse is something to show you that they really have no clue. Like, I've only been in business for a week, or can you speak up? I haven't bought a mic. Things like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a very funny concept.
No, I'm sorry, I don't need another comic here. I don't have room to take another chance. And even though I've never heard your act before, I'll give you every punchline in advance.
The song moves too slowly for those moments to land the way they need to. So it just feels like we're plodding along. You can see the punchlines coming far too easily, especially after the first one.
Okay, so
Because you have time to sit and think about it.
Okay, I agree with you in 2025. I get what you're saying. Like, I think in 1987, I don't think it was probably too slow. Because just think about like how our minds multitask now and how quick we need to get to the punchline now. There were no phones. There was like TV, no computers. And so like
For most people, yeah.
for most people. So it was just a simpler life. And I think that our attention spans probably were better. And like the pace of it in 1987 probably did slightly better than it does now. I don't know if that's true or not, or if I'm just like pulling that out. But
I mean, a month after this show opened and closed, we got Into the Woods. So there's a lot of fast lyrics in that.
The rapping of 1987.
Yeah.
Okay,
Granted, as a Sondheim fan,
see you.
I'm going to be biased toward that. But there have been fast songs for a very long time.
Brian, I was
Modern
just
Major
trying to help
General.
you out.
Modern Major General. That's from the 1800s, and that was very fast.
Okay, fair point. I was just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and
I love how, before this, Jeff was talking to me about how he was so worried that he was going to be the villain of the season.
I don't want to be the villain.
And you're being so much nicer than I am.
I mean, I could never write a musical. No, thank you.
No, but I'm also not.
I don't even know what
I'm
I
not
would
trying.
rhyme with.
Rhyming dictionaries, come on.
I would only like write like a kid show.
I can
But
see that.
The kids are probably way meaner than adults because
They're certainly very blunt.
that's true. I don't know. I guess that was my thought process, but you're probably right. I was just trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
You're so nice.
I do like the song now. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I think it's funny. The idea is good enough for me to be on board with it for the most part.
'Cause you see, we're the best in the business. We got all the funny guys in town you like. Yes, you know we're the best in the business. Could you speak up loud? I haven't bought a mic.
I think the other reason why I like the song is because as a director, I was like, oh, I can definitely see how this could get staged. So that was another thing that I really like. I could visually see in my head how this scene would work.
I will give credit for that. That is very true.
I will say that I couldn't do that for stand up. So I think that for this song, I was like, I can see how this could work.
Okay, I'll buy that. And then on the album, right after this, we have The Best in the Business reprise. This is actually like 2/3 of the way through Act 1 in the show. So I'm not sure why he moved it up here. You wouldn't think that it was originally intended to be right after, because it's instead of people telling him that they're the best in the business, it's kind of his resolve. I'm going to be the best in the business of comedy.
Yes, you know I'm the best in the business, and I'm going to make it to the very top.
So technically, it does what I like a reprise to do, which is to turn it on its head a bit and give you a different context, a different meaning to have the reprise. But it's so obvious. I don't know. I'll still give some credit for that. But
I don't remember this reprise.
Yeah, it's slower. It's softer because it's a little bit more him sad saying, but I know I'm the best in the business.
Who sings this on the 2007 recording?
Martin Vidnovic.
Do we know him?
He's done a lot of stuff, but a lot of it is not stuff that lives on in cast albums and things like that for people to know his name as much as his notoriety does not match his output of good work.
Got it. Okay. You think it happens too soon, or do you think it was more, is it supposed to be more of a tag to the original?
I mean, maybe it could be. Maybe that's what he envisioned when he wrote it, but it was after having someone in the playbill.
Okay.
So when it was on stage, those 4 performances, it was later in the show, later in Act 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Then after this, we have Claire's Dancing School. So this is our first opportunity to hear from Gabrielle, and she is reflecting back on the dance school she went to as a child.
Do you think she's a bad ballerina? Like, is
like
that
intentionally? Is that the part of the
yeah,
thing?
like that's what I couldn't figure out.
I kind of interpreted it as her being fine. Like, she's not an amazing dancer, but she's not bad, but just in New York, you're going to have to be better than just fine to really make it.
Yeah.
Because apparently her dream is to dance at the Met. And,
That's going to happen.
well, it is, spoiler, we'll get to that later, but artificially it does happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the guide to musicaltheater.com is very helpful. It has a slight bit of context for each song.
Oh.
So that's where I'm getting some of this information. But in the song, Julie Budd is the singer. She sounds lovely.
Okay, all the women in this sound lovely.
Yeah. So
both recordings.
I like Julie Budd better than Liz Larson on the 2007 recording. I just think her voice fits the song better. And Liz Larson is trying to take, I think, in a different direction that for me is not as successful. But it is a very pleasant voice to listen to.
The class wasn't big, and Clara was tiny, and I wasn't tall myself. And I read every book all about ballerinas that Clara had on the shelf.
This is another one where it's moving slowly enough and there are pauses and things that you see every rhyme coming pretty much. I guess it's not so much the tempo of the song, it's that you have these gaps where one line ends and then there's 3 seconds of music before the next line comes in. So you have time to think about it. That's more what I meant, I guess.
Right. This is
More so than the tempo, it's the pacing in the
but like
song.
that's why I thought that was like the whole point of the show was like
Maybe
you see
it is
coming, and like the jokes and everything is so obvious.
Maybe you are seeing what their true vision was, and I am seeing
Do
what
we need a
everybody
revival?
else saw.
Do we need a revival?
Are you going to stage it?
Who's gonna fund it? I'm not funding it.
I'm not funding it.
No.
Okay. If you want to fund a revival of this, talk to
Do you
Jeff.
think on stage that they like did the ballerina dancing part of it, that we saw her in?
Maybe.
It was like a flashback moment.
Yeah, and who knows? They could have had somebody else, as she's in front of the stage, somebody behind her acting out her younger self.
That would be cute.
Because there are only really 2 principals in this show, and then the ensemble fills in various roles as we go along. So they could have had somebody back there.
Because does Gabriella sing this whole song?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There could also be a longer dance break that's not on the album.
It's true.
So who knows? For me, the concept of the song feels very basic and very chorus line ripoff, thinking back to At the Ballet.
So Chorus Line came out, what, the season
76. More than a decade before.
before? I'm bad at dates. Yeah, I will say, like, it was very Fame vibe, very, like,
Oh, some of these songs are very Fame vibe.
very Chorus Line.
to me, the song it sounds nice, but it feels like it was written just to fill time and to give the actress playing Gabrielle something to do. Like, it does not feel like it needs to be there. It's not propelling things forward. Maybe if you have the script around it, maybe it does actually tie in more.
Like, the song was in the script that you could read.
I didn't read the whole thing.
Oh, okay, I did.
I read enough to get a sense of it, and then I was like, I'm good.
I'm solid. I mean,
And they're also
you're not wrong.
And like the lyrics are even more repetitious in this song than the others so far. So I'm just like, I'm bored.
I'm bored.
Her voice is lovely, but I'm bored.
'Cause I learned about dancing, and I learned about treasure, and I know that it changed my life in many ways. Those early days.
Okay, but like it's hard because secretly I love like a strong female lead.
Who doesn't?
I would like take a female lead song for a male song any day. So I kind of like this song because of that. And I don't know if it has any, like, I don't think it's because the lyrics are outstanding or the music's outstanding. I think it's literally because like I love a good female lead song, and this is the moment for her.
This is a female lead song. I don't know about a good female lead song. I think she
we
deserves
don't
better.
have a lot to choose from, sir.
No, we don't.
So gotta pick or poison.
Yeah.
I mean, the other female lead song that not lead song, but like other female song that we're gonna talk about, love.
Yeah. We'll get to there pretty soon. The next track is This Lady Isn't Right For Me. This is, I think, a very refreshing change of pace. Everything before has been very mid-tempo to slower, and this is high energy, fast, definitely giving fame at the beginning.
Remember Kathy, the psychopathy, begging me to bring her pot. So I'd come running, then I'd be done, and she had the cops arrest me on the spot.
And so it's nice to have that. But then after the first half of the verse, we settle back into that same vibe as what was before, the other songs in the show. And I'm like, no, keep that energy. Don't go back to the basic stuff that you've been doing.
I was gonna be like, consistency is important for musical theater, but like not this much consistency.
Not this much. And this is one that, interestingly, I think the original orchestrations on the 07 recording are worse. I think they improved them for this studio recording here because it's very spare in the original orchestrations, and it just does not match what's going on above it. One thing I will give this song again credit, it is trying to have some variation by having this driving section, and then it'll go to a more contemplative waltz type section and then back.
And I swore up and down it was really almost guaranteed. But here I am again, this lady isn't what I'm needing. Someone like Gabby isn't so bad at all.
But I think it is so abrupt, and just it feels like on Will and Grace where Jack is doing something and then just randomly has a frown and he's sad and it makes no sense. And that's what this is giving me. And it is better on the 07 recording with Daniel Reichard, but it still doesn't quite work for me. But at least he's giving some attempt to transition between these two modes.
And I mean, like, he sandwiches it, right? So it starts off fast, goes to the waltz, ends fast. I'm just like trying to envision Jack doing this song.
Well, it's like, and specifically where he's trying to cheer up Grace in bed after she's had a breakup, and he's just like, and you're still the one singular, like it's just that really rapid left turn. That's what it gives me.
This was the turning point for me though, with I stopped rooting for him in the song.
Okay, because this is what you're talking about with
because he becomes he talks about Tanya, he talks about all these different women that either like used him or like didn't work out, or one left him for a girl, one was into older men.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
was it supposed to be funny?
Each verse is him talking about a former relationship that didn't work out.
Right, but I feel like
and
he's
the point
being
of it
like
is
shady.
not clear.
He's being like a villain about it, and he's kind of being an asshole. So like being like the ingenue, I was like, oh, am I rooting? Like, why do you deserve Gabrielle?
Yeah.
Like, it's all about how all these women used him, or I mean, and Gabrielle's kind of using him too. Like,
yeah.
In the script, she just like moves in with him.
Yeah.
And was like, I don't want anything serious. And so like, the man needs some therapy to like.
Yeah, I will say to the 80s of it, I think it could be read as more progressive, that he's not saying there's something wrong with them, but just that they're not right for him. I think that might have played a little bit more progressive than it does now.
Sure. Okay. I respectfully disagree, but I will.
I'm just throwing out there that we can't help but approach this from 2025.
Yeah, I feel like that we're
so-
just shaming the women because it didn't work out for him. And like, what is he doing to better himself?
He's trying to be a stand-up.
Yeah, but he's also
because
kind
the
of
world
being
needs more stand-up comedians.
He's also being obsessive about Gabrielle.
Yeah, I think that's probably his personality, unfortunately.
We're talking about the character. For the
Yes,
record.
not the composer.
I don't know. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Not my jam. It didn't make me feel. I'm always gonna root for the women. So like, I was not a good person to ask for that.
Fair enough.
This lady isn't right for me.
The next track is Nothing's Changing This Love. So this was cut out of town and then replaced with Having Someone, which is the next track that we'll get to. They're both included here because
Is
why
that the
not?
bonus track?
No, it's literally the track right after this. So we have the original version and what replaced it on the album next to each other. I appreciate that in the refrain bit, he is trying to be not basic. There are very unexpected chords. I don't know that they're successful, but I like that he tried something.
I'd say it's music to my ears. And nothing's changing my mood. Nothing's changing my mind. Nothing's changing this love I find.
I know. Like I was like bashing him in the last song. It's cute. Like he is.
Yeah, and
He's like,
this
nothing's
is
gonna
his
get me
smitten
down.
Song, yeah.
No matter like what happens today, I'm in love. Blah-di-da-di-da.
Yeah.
It's cute. I'll give it that.
It definitely, listening to the 07 version, I think the original orchestrations are much better, and the song works much better with Jason Graw singing. So this is one of those as well that it just does not sit great with Brian Gary's voice and his approach to the song. And with a little bit more acting behind it, I think it does work a little bit better.
But I think that comes back to like the male ingenue part of it, right? Like,
Can you have a male ingenue?
can you? Yeah.
That's not like a term that people use.
Is that not a thing?
It's more of the
What do we call that?
boy next door. I don't know.
The term male ingenue doesn't exist.
I mean, it exists, but it's not as standardized, quote unquote, of a definition as the ingenue.
What if it was two guys? There has to be an ingenue. A love story.
There has to be.
If it's a love story,
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
gonna make this happen. I
may be wrong.
I might be the trend of male ingenues.
Okay,
I feel like isn't Tony in like West Side's like he's the male ingenue?
I've never heard anybody call him that though.
Oh.
Historically, we have not pigeonholed male actors the same way that we have women. Like that's what these terms are. Like, oh, you have to be this type or this type of an actress to get work.
But what do we call them though?
A man.
Maybe I'm just super progressive, I guess.
Oh my God! Just
I've used male ingenue like my whole career.
like I said, I may be wrong, and just I haven't heard it as much, but it may be more of a thing than I know.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway,
I think it comes from the type of voice you want to be like smooth and like sexy, especially for like these love songs.
you want Jonathan Groff?
Oh, yeah, I do want Jonathan Groff. Yeah, Jonathan Groff can be on any cast album ever.
I'll never be mad to hear him.
You can fight me on that. Yeah, that's all I got with that.
All right, fair enough. So the next track now is Having Someone, which is the newer version to replace the last track. And we have a very different tone compared to the version that came before it.
Which one was in the Broadway version?
Having Someone,
Oh, I think that's why it closed.
just because of that song.
Just song. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I guess let's start with there, and then I will.
I don't.
This
I mean,
might
I
be
don't
my
hate
villain
the. I
moment.
don't hate the new direction. Basically, David, who is our main character, whose name is only now being mentioned in this song for the first time, I think, is singing one verse about how happy he is to be in love and having someone, and then these other people around him are shitting on love and saying all these things that are not so positive.
Having someone who cooks all your dinners with pride. Having someone is great, so's my girl on the side.
And then he tries to come back and like be more of that hopeful energy, and they're kind of pulling back and forth. So it is interesting. I'm not sure that it works well for me, but again, it's about what moment do you want to have in the show, because they're giving very different options.
I'm curious to know why you think these people are like shitting on love.
Maybe not that that's their intention, but like the one is talking about how he loves his cleaning lady and he gives her Tide for Christmas. Like they're giving a very different. Sexist is probably a little racist as well. But just he's got this puppy dog love, and they are giving their own takes on love, which is very different from his.
I think it's very just like a old school thought where women should be in the kitchen and be at home, and like that's what they love, and like they have someone to take care of them because they're grown baby men that need a lot of hand holding.
Yeah.
Like I struggle because do they love someone because they're like their mom? Like that's the vibe that I get in the song, or do like they actually love the person? Or because all of the things that they sing about are the things that like they do
For them.
yeah. Which like love, like they should make your life better, but they shouldn't be your happiness. Like you should have your own happiness.
It's the 80s.
That's true. So I don't like the song.
Yeah. We are getting different characterizations of things. Like we have Michael McCasty, who's one of the ensemble members from the Broadway run, is doing this really gravelly voice that I don't like. I appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate it character-wise, but on my ears, I don't like it. And then we get a hint of a gay character, just...
I like a person who loves Judy Garland and might even dress like her too. I like someone with a good sense of humor. In fact, Dave, I kinda like you.
And it's just, it's so brief and it's so veiled. It just doesn't feel like it needs to be there if we're not going to actually
Alex,
go into
representation matters.
I don't know if that really counts, but sure.
I mean, that's probably like the nicest line from the ensemble that like
It's at least unexpected.
it's unexpected and it doesn't make me cringe.
No,
Like
that is true.
It is like cute and unexpected, and I mean it's jarring, but I feel like
And we may have
maybe
more
that's-
context around it with this character on stage.
but
Who
maybe
knows?
like jarring is like that's a very consistent thing that we have said throughout this whole time. So
That it's boring,
maybe
predictable. So yeah, here we go.
Maybe
I got my wish.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I do like the fact that they reach out with different ensembles. I don't necessarily love like cooking, cleaning, being drunk when someone like
Having someone is nice when you're drunk. This is one of the songs that especially really conjures up, like each line starting with having someone very much feels like when I was in 7th grade and I wrote a poem for class and I was so proud of it. And then it got put in a box and years later I found I was like, oh, this is not good.
But you
That's
know
the vibe
something?
I'm getting from it.
You know what the song is called though.
You do?
So when you sing it karaoke, people
Yes,
will
because they're
know,
definitely going to have this at karaoke.
and they can know how to look it up.
You got me there.
Having someone, you've got to be out of your mind.
The next track then is Late Night Comic, our title song, which was actually written more than a decade prior for an act at a comedy club when he was playing piano in between. And they didn't want it and told him he should just do it himself. So he did. So this is the oldest song in the show. And then it was cut in previews.
How sad. Do you
And
think
they put it back in for opening night because he insisted. And I don't think it's a
that's
great
why
song.
closed? It closed so fast because
'Cause
they
it was
added that
one
one
song?
song. Because they had 15 previews.
I think there's a lot of reasons. Yeah, and I don't know when in previews it got cut. If it was at the beginning or near the end.
I didn't realize that this was like the oldest song. Do you think it sounds different from the rest of the songs?
I mean, yes, in the sense that it's trying for a different vibe than the rest, but I don't think it feels out of place.
So you would have kept it in, is what you're saying.
Why not?
Why not? Like, I mean,
It's a chandelier in a haunted house. It doesn't matter.
that's true. That's true.
Call the club and ask them for a spot. They say 3 a.m. is all we got. But you say you don't care. And sure enough, a waitress is the only person there. And she walks out.
It is very, very melancholy. The tone of the song is very woe is me, because he's complaining about how he does not want to be a late night comic. He wants to be primetime because he gets a slot at 3 a.m. and there's nobody there.
Except, and the waitress leaves.
The waitress leaves.
Yeah, so that's the other thing that I don't love about the song is like I think it goes back to what I was like telling you earlier is so he's the male ingenue and all he does is complain. Like honestly, respectfully, he complains the whole show. When he sings a song about all the women, he's complaining about how like they did him wrong, and now we're here again with another like poor me. And I don't know if I care. And it's not that I don't care. It's like you want to be rooting for him. And I don't I don't know if this would read better on stage, but like I'm done rooting for him. Like he has to like buck up and make some choices.
So
I think it's probably smart that they cut the song.
Yeah.
Because it's another like.
It's not endearing you to the main character.
No.
One of the things I wrote down was, "Good God, girl, get a grip." Like,
good God, girl.
the mood of the music is so sad, and it only further highlights how whiny he's being. It's just
Who sings this in the 2007 recording? Is it whiny? In
It's
the 2000?
Rupert Holmes. It's better. It's not quite as whiny, but the lyrics are what the lyrics are.
That's true.
And I think it's just also he talks at the beginning about how it's terrible to go on late because there's no one there, and then he says, "And there were 7 hecklers." I'm like, so you have 7 people in the audience? That's better than you just said.
Yeah, but
I guess it could be a different night.
there are
but
some comics that like thrive on hecklers, and then
he's complaining.
Well, I mean that's his vibe.
Yeah. And then like, how do we end this song? Let's just say the title of the song of the show over and over. That'll be good.
You have to remember what you're doing.
It's not enough that the chorus starts with it every time. The chorus ends with it 3 times every time.
Late night comic, keep the laughter coming till the dawn. Late night comic, late night comic, late night comic, never yawn.
It's not the early morning comic. It's not the mid-afternoon comic.
Well, at a certain
the
point,
late
late
comic.
night becomes the early morning.
Okay. True. Well, maybe if they would have called it that, maybe it would have gone better. The early morning
Maybe.
comic.
At least it would have been more of a, I wonder what that is.
It would have been jarring.
Yeah.
I wonder how that song worked with his like act 10 years prior.
Yeah. I'm guessing he kind of handed up a bit, like not for, oh, I'm sad, but more of a, because you're talking to the crowd itself that he's singing about. And so you can kind of have a little bit more of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge about it.
Oh, I am.
Because he was singing this at a comedy club.
If it was like super soap opera and like very over the top and very like LeFou-ish vibe, I think that maybe I would be down for
It could be more fun. Yeah. It could be fun. It could never be heartfelt the way it's written.
But that could be the joke, right? That you could make that into the joke.
Yeah.
Huh.
More staging ideas for you.
Yeah, on my revival of late night comic here in the Twin Cities.
Oh no, shoot for Broadway. Go right for it.
Girl.
Never yawn.
The next song is It Had to Happen Sometime. And once again, there's a concept I love here. They're trying to have one phrase being used by 2 different people for 2 different purposes, except it only really makes sense for one of them. Because he's singing about it had to happen sometime about like his career and getting a break.
Right.
And she's trying to break up with him. And so she's like, well, this had to happen sometime. It's like, so you planned this to end from the beginning? Or what? I don't understand.
Oh, she for sure planned. Oh, I understand that.
But you're not supposed to say that part out loud. To the
No, I
person
feel like
you've
that
been
was very
using.
obvious. Like, I feel like they put that up there. What do you mean you're not supposed to say that out loud?
It's not supposed to be, I'm moving in with you just to take advantage of you. It's because we'll be so good for each other. Like Sally in Cabaret. She's like, oh no, it'll be marvelous. It'll be perfect. You'll love having me here. Not just that I need a place to go, which is the truth.
Wasn't she pregnant at that time?
No, at that song.
Oh.
Anyway,
Whoops.
that's a different show.
Whoops.
Although it is in this season. So check out
that's true.
the episode later where we'll be talking about that. No cast recording, but we'll talk about it.
There's no cast recording for that? Oh,
Not for this revival. It was basically remounting the original Broadway production.
that's probably why there's no cast album.
Yeah. This whole song, though, is very awkward to me because, again, we're supposed to be rooting for him. He's not even paying enough attention to her to understand that she's breaking up with him.
But who are we
He's
rooting
reading the
for?
paper or something.
Like, that's my question is, like, who in this moment are we rooting for Gabrielle? Because we know that, like, she's low-key a gold digger in this situation. Or are we rooting for, like, the whiny dude that maybe needs some therapy to, like, figure out his life?
I think that's the bigger issue of why the show closed, is there's no one to root for.
Yeah, because they're both bad people. Like, not,
Yeah.
no, they're both bad
But not
people.
interesting bad, just low-key bad.
This is very hard to tell you. I am not your dream come true. I could never make you happy. Thought you knew.
I'm sure that there's other musicals about characters like Gabrielle, but they're usually the main. It's
Yeah.
about their story.
Yeah. This whole song, though, as I was listening to it, several times prepping for the podcast, I realized this is a much worse version of We Do Not Belong Together, where she is singing to him about how I'm leaving because you don't care about me and he's too focused on his work. It literally is the same song, just done poorly.
You're not wrong. No, I can get behind that.
Well, it had to happen sometime. There's no telling when. It had to happen sometime. the times you get.
And this is another one on the '07 recording that we have Brian Darcy James.
Yes.
And so it sounds much better. And he's with Julia Murney, who is also amazing. And you actually get emotion from Gabrielle from Julia Murney. And I could see us rooting for her more as played by Julia Murney.
Yeah, no, I did really like this recording. I think I would root for Gabrielle in that moment, probably. She's just trying to get by and just trying to do her thing.
So this is not a very effective breakup because we have to have another song. So the next track is When I Am Movin', which is basically the second half of the breakup as she is dancing out of his life. Very peppy, upbeat number of how she feels better when she's moving, both literally as in dancing and figuratively in the sense of moving on. So it just feels very weird after what we just went through to have this song now. And there's a very unexpected note in the melody. Again, I like unexpected considering a lot of my issues with this show. But then it immediately goes back to being basic again. And so it's literally just that one note that's interesting, and so it feels out of place.
When I am moving, when I'm in the air, I don't really care what's below. Win, lose, I choose the show.
You think that's jarring? Like, you think, like, the vibe is, like...
Not jarring, it feels out of place because we don't do anything with that idea. We literally break from this super cut and paste cookie cutter song to have one interesting thing. But we're not going to dive into that and actually make it more interesting. We're going to go straight back to the cookie cutter.
Sure. No, I guess I meant, like, right after the last song.
Oh, as far as like track to track?
Yeah.
Again, we
You
don't
gotta
know what's
change
on
the-
stage to like how much space there is between them.
Sure. I mean,
But she
you
just
gotta
sounds very,
change
very
the-
happy here.
Yeah, she got what she wanted. She got what she wanted, and she had to move on.
That's true.
No, I mean, I feel like it is a very generic Broadway song.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we had something sad happen. We're going to pick it up, and we're going to, like, it's like a start a B moment.
Take it for what it's worth, maybe I'll fall to earth crashing. But I won't walk away till I hear people say it's smashing.
And on the '07 recording, it is the wonderful Liz Calloway singing it, who can never sound bad if she wanted to, but it still doesn't make it interesting for me. Like, that's a sign of a not well-written song to me, is if I can't be interested when Liz Calloway sings it, no one can sell it.
I think this is one of those songs where, you know, when you see a show, it fits and, like, you're like, oh, that's cute. And then when you leave the theater, you're like, I can't even remember what song it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the vibe. Like, it wasn't going to be like a My Days. It wasn't going to be a standout, like, cabaret moment or, like, the songs that you pull from the show.
Yeah.
I think it probably just helps move the plot.
And fill
But,
time.
Fill time.
Gotta fill out
When in
2 whole
doubt,
acts.
just fill time.
Yeah. Although we are getting near the end of Act 1 now, because the next track is Think Big, which is the Act 1 closer. Doesn't feel like it, but it is the end of Act 1. It is even more repetitious than a lot of what we've had already. It's, again, everything ends in Think Big.
I'll go for the silk and the suede, and I'm gonna think big. Why can't I go for the jade? I'm gonna think big.
He is very big in your school of thought of make sure they know the title of the song.
Make sure.
There's one time in this whole song that he does it differently. And it's
I want to have lunch at Le Cirque, and I'm gonna drink big.
and that line I love because it's unexpected, it's funny. You don't have time to see it coming. But then to not try again the whole rest of the song, because that's near the beginning. Like maybe if it was near the end and you had one deviation from the formula. But if you do it at the beginning, in my mind, oh, so we're going to do fun takes on this. Oh, no, just that one, and then think big every time. Think big, think big. Okay, that's boring.
But you have to think big, man.
Yeah, and then the last note of this song is really painful. It is very much flat, and he is straining
Oh, because
to the gods.
he is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Brian
yeah.
Gari.
Who sings this in the recording?
Howard
Yeah.
McGillen. And I love Howard McGillen, but I don't know, his voice does not fit this song for me. It feels still really strange and just kind of like I feel like I don't know where I am because his voice and the song don't match.
I actually feel like this song should be more in like the middle of act. Like this is a song that I would have said that should have replaced like Late Night Comic.
Yeah.
Because this is the moment where like you could maybe start rooting for him.
Yeah. And just, it's a sin throughout this whole show, but gaps give you time to reflect on how bad the lyrics are. Like, da, 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 I'm gonna think 2, 3, 4, big. Like,
Think
we
2,
don't
3.
need that much space in between the words, especially for the title of the song. it makes you, at least it makes me more aware each time at how unoriginal we're being.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to like. I was gonna try to like come up with something to like be the other half of that and try to like debate you on that. But yeah, it's not good.
It's
man.
not good. All right, well, let's just get it to intermission.
Intermission.
And as we'll get
Best
to
part of the show.
in the last, in the last song, somebody on a CBS show, like I don't know if it was the news or whatever, actually said on the air,
Late night comic, my friends, is so bad that when I went outside for intermission, I stood under the marquee of another theater.
Oh, sad.
like that's a line in the song, or like I think it's actually a recording of that anchor on air doing it in the song later, but he actually said that on the news.
Oh, poor guy.
I mean, they put him out of his misery after 2 days.
Yeah. What a bummer though, because like it's probably like a lot of work to like.
Oh, definitely.
Do you think he just wasn't surrounding himself with the right people that were like, bro?
I think there was a lot of cocaine happening in the 80s, and people were like, yeah, just go with it.
Oh, that I wasn't ready for that. So, yeah. Wasn't ready for the cocaine.
All right, so we come back from intermission, maybe.
How many people do you think left during like intermission?
A lot.
Have you ever left a show during intermission?
Never. I've considered it a couple times, but I've never done it. Because if it's bad, I want to get the full information so I can give my full opinion of why it was bad.
I don't think I've ever done it. And if I've done it, I've only done it out of like necessity, like not because I didn't like the show. Do you know that people are doing that for Wicked right now? There are people that are only staying for intermission because they don't want part 2 to be ruined for the movie. And I was like, girl, that is the most expensive ticket because you're only getting half the show.
And it's going to be different. Like, they're going to mess with
Correct.
Act 2 a lot more than Act 1.
But isn't that crazy?
That is stupid.
Are you obsessed with Wicked?
I think appropriately so.
Oh, no, I was just trying to transition to the next song, which is Obsessed.
Oh, I'm just going to cut all this.
Oh, sad. I thought that was fun.
I might keep some of it.
Some of it.
Yeah. Because the next track is Obsessed. I don't know what the song is. It's not in the playbill, so I don't think it was in the show when it opened. But I don't know that it was cut. I can't find it actually referenced anywhere. So I don't know if this is where it was in the show. No one really knows. I'm assuming it was a cut song because it's here in the middle, not at the end, like it's a bonus track. And apparently he's just talking about how he's the kind of guy who has to be in love, which, again, not making me want to root for him. And that the problem is that his life started going wrong once he fell in love for the first time. I'm not clear what he's trying to say here.
I mean, I think it's the point. Like he sings about how he's obsessed, right? And then he meets this girl who is like swearing off dating or done with dating, and then he sings about being insane. So we changed the lyrics a little bit. So we went from obsessed 4 times or 5 times or how many times he sings obsessed.
A lot, many times in a very short amount of time.
And then we switched to being insane, and then we go back to obsessed. So like fun change.
Obsessed. I have tried 1,000 times to get it off my chest. Obsessed. I am always coming back again for one more test. You would think that I would learn from all my tries, but it seems I thrive on hearing those goodbyes. Obsessed. Obsessed. Obsessed.
This might be my least favorite song of the album. It is so bad. It is.
No, that's so interesting.
I hate it. Burn it with fire.
I don't hate. It's not my least favorite. We're gonna hate
This is one of the ones that the lyrics make me physically uncomfortable because they're so bad.
Oh, interesting. That's a hot take.
Part of it is just how frequently he's saying obsessed at the beginning of each verse, and then it ends with him saying obsessed 3 times. Again, we're gonna know the title of the song, but
I know. I think it's funny that is just something that I think that you have to accept with this show, and so I think it's funny that is like a very consistent pet peeve of yours.
Because it's such.
I have
songwriting.
just accepted that is the writing style of.
I will never accept.
I will never be okay with that.
The rhythm reminds me of some of the parts of Model Behavior from Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
Oh.
And I think that's part of why I hate it so much is because
It's like
and it's not copying, obviously, that came out later, but it's just reminding me of that song with really good lyrics. And then this is so much more awful by comparison because my mind automatically wants that rhythm to be associated with Laura Benanti.
Oh, Laura. She could be Gabrielle.
She could do anything.
She can sing, yeah.
She could be David. I'd watch that. She could be Male Ingenue.
She could be David. She could do anything.
That could be more interesting.
I have found the perfect girl for me again on the day that she is swearing off of men. Insane. Insane. I'm insane.
I don't hate the song. I mean, it's repetitive and it
One thing I will say, on the 07 recording, it's Mario Cantone who is singing it, which is funny to me. But
why is that funny to you?
so on the Assassins episode last season, we talked about him being chosen clearly for his comic chops and his acting ability, not his singing voice.
Oh, sure.
And so to bring him in just for a studio recording is kind of funny to me. But to his credit, he improves the song a lot because he actually gives an insane energy to it, and it makes it funny and more interesting than Brian Gari singing it, where it's just really blah. Like I hate it.
no.
I hate it, but it's blah.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that the reason the song would work is because of the acting. Like, I feel like this is one of those, like, this is an acting song, not a singing song.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't need to be the best singer in order to perform the song.
Yeah.
I am going out to probably get drunk. Better yet, I think I'm gonna be a monk. Obsessed, obsessed, obsessed.
The next track is Relax With Me, Baby. As far as I can tell, this is Robin Kaiser's only contribution to the album, but she goes big and is amazing on this song.
I love this song. This is my favorite song in the show.
It's very much giving Special from Avenue Q.
It's sexy.
He's at a hooker bar and she is just flirting.
She is just flirting. It's very true. It gives me also, I'm such a bad theater gay. What's the song that's in Rock of Ages
Oh, I don't know.
where they're at the stripper club? That's the vibe I get. I can't tell you what the song is.
I mean, it's a jukebox musical, so I choose not to know it.
I just have a bad memory. No, this is the moment where I was like telling you, like, I just love a great female, like,
Oh, yeah.
empowerment. And I feel like this is the best song in the show, hands down.
Do I make you nervous? Do I make you shook? Are you so afraid that your heart is gonna break? Well, just relax with me, baby. Relax with me, baby. You'll be all right.
This is very fun. I love to imagine a world where Jeff Marks knew this song from this show, and that inspired Special in Avenue Q.
Oh, I hope that this was like a burlesque song.
Oh, yeah.
And she
if
was
it's not,
like-
that's a crime.
She was like stripping down, and she
Yeah.
ends this song in like some pasties, and maybe that didn't happen. That happened.
It could happen.
I feel like weren't costumes a little bit more risque back then than they are now, maybe?
I mean, the wolf penis and Into the Woods.
The wolf penis?
You've seen the Great Performances broadcast of Into the Woods?
I don't remember this.
His costume has a full penis just out.
I'm gonna need to look this up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the wolf had a
Do it.
penis. This is like the Louise moment. Let me entertain you.
Yeah, I mean...
What if this was Louise after?
So there are a lot of actually pretty decent lyrics in this song. And we're having fun with the double entendre of come relax with me. We all know what that is, wink, wink. And then it bums me out that toward the end of the song,
Now let me get closer, and I'll let you see some. And then if you're good, we might try a threesome.
I'm like, well, now it's not being suggestive anymore. You're just saying what you mean, which is less interesting.
Oh, I disagree. Sometimes the audience needs to be spoon-fed. And maybe that was just one of those moments.
Maybe.
Who are we having a threesome with, though? Is it Gabrielle? Is it like...
I think he would definitely be into that.
Is it
'Cause
like
I
the
think
manager?
at this point they're broken up, and so he's at this hooker bar because he is trying to comfort himself.
Because is this this is where I couldn't figure out where the plot, like what happened with the plot, but is this where, like, when he sings Obsessed, is this a new girl that he was singing Obsessed about?
Like I
Oh,
said,
because it got cut.
if it was in the show, it was not by opening night. Interesting for me, this song, the music underneath is still fairly basic and repetitive, which has been a problem for me for most of this show, but it works so well here because it's fitting the genre of like that saloon girl kind of vibe. So that's where sometimes being basic works well, and sometimes you're like, this is lazy. Because this song, it works well.
It's interesting because I think they're right with like the basic repetitive, especially with how I think audiences just in general, and maybe it's not even a musical theater thing, it's more of like a population of like, we tend to like repetitive, basic. Think about all the pop songs that like have become like hits.
Yeah.
A lot of them is like repetitive. I don't what was big in the 80s? Like what were the big songs in the 80s? Were those repetitive?
It's hard because we know the ones that have lasted.
That's true.
Not necessarily the ones
That's
that were
true.
big that then faded. All pop music has always been to some degree repetitive in the music, and hopefully not as much in the lyrics. So I don't love this song because whatever, but I think it is the most successful song on the album for sure.
I mean, Love is such a
That's
strong
a
word.
personal feeling. I don't love this song. but not because it's not good. Just it's not for me as much. But I think it's very successful at what it's doing.
I mean, do you love any song on the show?
No.
So if I had to be like, you have to pick one song to love on the show, like this soundtrack, what song would you pick? Because I'm going to pick this.
Like to listen to?
Like if you had to listen every day until you die, Obsessed?
I'd probably choose the bonus track.
Oh, that's right. Okay, touche.
Which we'll get there. But I do also appreciate Karen Ziemba on the 07 recording does a different take on it, but still kind of in the same vein, but it's a little bit more wacky. And I think that works very well too.
Yeah, because I feel like the original recording is very sexy, and then it was fun to like...
Yeah, to take a different comic beat to it instead. So it's also a sign of a better written song that it can be done with different perspectives and be effective both ways.
Relax with me, baby, you'll be all right. However, you ain't relaxed now. You will be by the end of the night.
So now we have the Gabrielle reprise, which is him welcoming her back because I guess she went out to try to make it big and didn't. So she's back to be like, hey, can I live here again? And he's like, yes, absolutely, because I'm a doormat and I love you.
And I love you. You're perfect. Come back to me.
We'll have this a few times as well, but the
No one else can bring the night on half as well.
Yes, like
Girl,
hold that out, support the sound, and it should be like a tide note, right? That should all happen in one breath.
as Brian Darcy James says,
Brian Darcy.
amazing again. And it's like, this song is only 43 seconds and it still feels too long because I'm so like just over it. And yet we don't actually get any hint of what's happening. Like, I only know that she's returning because of that, the Guide to Musical Theater website, that this is him welcoming her home.
Sure.
There's nothing in the song that tells us that.
But also, do we care?
I think we're kind of past caring at this point. Yeah.
That's true. I just also don't, it's hard because like, I think this is the moment where you're supposed to be so happy for them. And I'm not.
Maybe it plays better on stage, but yeah, in the album we're not.
No.
So then the next track is Dance. So from guidetomusicaltheater.com, I love the description they have for this song. Although things are fine, David wants to add that additional spark, so he hires the Met for 15 minutes to let Gabby finally realize her dream of dancing there. So she does get to dance at the Met, basically because he paid them to let her dance there for 15 minutes, which is a weird gesture.
Probably couldn't afford it anymore.
Well, how could he even afford that? At this point, we have no indication that he's successful.
You have a really good point. Maybe this is like the situation with like Friends where like you don't really know how they can like
Or
live.
maybe he just had to blow a guy and get in for 15 minutes.
That's inappropriate.
Oh my God.
He's straight.
Well, he wanted that 15
$20
minutes.
is $20, I guess.
Yeah. So we start off very dramatic music, and then the first lyrics,
Dance. You started out and didn't have a chance. Dance. You never found a way you could advance.
and this is another one that I'm physically uncomfortable. It is so bad. I want to punch a wall. This is a fifth grader trying to write a song. This is not even a middle schooler.
I know that it's like cringy, right? Because the lyrics are like, I also don't love, is this the hero moment where he like comes in and is like, I'm going to make all your dreams.
Is this the Shmuel
Because
song?
he sings that part, right? He's the one that sings the beginning. Dance,
Yeah.
you never had a chance. I think that's like a dick thing to say. Don't you think?
I mean, it's definitely giving Jamie from the last 5 years of, I am being so generous to let you do what you want to do now.
That makes me so sad because it's so true.
But if I give up these tights, well, there'll be one too many nights. And I'll be wondering why I'm still alive.
This is my least favorite song in the show.
It's a slog.
It's like 5 minutes.
But, oh my God. So, on the 2007 recording, it is 13 minutes. They include all the dance music after the 5-minute song.
Wow.
13 minutes of that terrible MIDI sound. And I listened to it because I was determined to at least listen to it once. It is the hardest thing I've had to do for this podcast so far.
I listened to the 2007 at work, and so I guess I didn't realize how long it was.
It's just shy of 13 minutes. It's like 12:53.
Is there another show that has that long of a dance break?
I'm sure lots of shows do.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
just
not many
trying
that are
to,
that-
I'm trying to think of any
Quite
like
that long.
I think about like Oklahoma and the ballet.
Yeah.
Is that the vibe that they're trying to do in this?
No idea.
Because I guess I would have liked to know, but for the 2007 version, right, there's no other long dance breaks in any other songs, right?
No. So this album that we're talking about today, I think it's only 53 minutes. So they had time to kill. It's like, well, let's just fill up this
But-
CD.
Alex, that means that, like, so the 15 minutes that he bought her, the audience got to witness
Almost all of it.
the whole 15 minutes. It wasn't like a snippet. It was like,
And
we're
so
getting our
is-
money's worth.
Is she just dancing or is he dancing
Yeah,
with
that,
her?
I guess that would be my thought process. I just don't.
Could be really awkward for him to stand there and watch her dance for
This
8
song
minutes.
also is like not my jam.
No,
It's too slow. And I know that it's supposed to be like a love ballad, right? This is like
It's not matching the energy of the moment. It is
it doesn't match
trying to
the
be
ener-
this dramatic, heartfelt thing, and it's just not.
But I also don't think it matches anything else in the show. So we
Nope.
talk about how like it's repetitive and like it's predictable and what you're getting into. So then we hear this song and it feels like it doesn't belong in the show at all. And I think that that's like is it like a catch-22? Is that what you call it? Where like the thing that we're talking about with the show is that it's too predictable and there isn't enough like venture or journey on it.
Yeah.
And then we see this song where it's not predictable at all.
I mean, within each song, they're still all predictable. This is still very, very easy to see where we're going in each line.
Sure. Okay. I mean, yes. I just mean as a whole with the vibe of
Yeah.
the show.
It doesn't fit.
It just feels like it belongs in a different show. Or not at all.
Or not at all. Wait, let's go with that.
Not at all. I'm so sorry, Brian.
So let's move on to Late Night Comic Reprise. So apparently Gabby left again. So he's at the club trying
I'm
to do a
shocked.
set. I know, right?
Shocked.
And he's trying to do a set, and this is what comes out instead. So instead of telling jokes, he is whining to his audience about how his girlfriend left.
I'm shocked. What? He's sad and woe is me again?
Yeah. And again, it is trying to reprise a song in a different context, but again, it's so predictable of that's how you're going to redo it. And it's so forced and ineffective. It's not good.
Finally found the girl who made me laugh. Someone made me whole instead of half. But it's over so soon. I found her in the morning, but she left by afternoon. Now it's the night.
Who sings it in the 2007? Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same guy that did the first one, Rupert Holmes.
Oh, Rupert Holmes.
So
I'm sure that it read better on stage and helped with like the plot of Gabby.
yeah, probably.
Are we rooting for Gabby at this point? Are we rooting for David?
I don't know. She left again.
But he doesn't have a crap together. So maybe it's like,
Again, I don't think either of them are worth rooting for.
that's true. That's all I got.
Oh.
I was trying to like give a little bit more meat to the conversation.
I love that you're trying to be so positive.
I'm
about this.
trying so hard. I don't want to be the plain Jane of the season.
No comment.
Oh, wait, does that mean I'm the trade too? Just kidding.
Podcast is definitely a visual medium for that. So
Late night comic, late night comic, late night comic, carry on.
the next track is It's Such a Different World. So now apparently somehow he's suddenly successful.
Do you think he like hit the lottery or something?
I don't know. But he's headlining in Vegas after being a late night comic at 3 a.m. in New York.
So maybe it
I'm not
was
sure if there's a lot of book that maybe makes it make sense, but
maybe it was just like the jokes were not the right crowd.
maybe. But another quote from Frank Rich. We are asked to believe that in his rise to fame, he has sharpened his comedy act and earned his success. Although the jokes are just as dreadful in the end as in the beginning, when he becomes a success, more people on stage laugh at him.
See, I
So
was
in the course
really
of the show,
hoping
the jokes don't get better. But now suddenly he's being rewarded, so he's supposed to be better?
maybe he got it right. No, I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's a musical, so we're just supposed to believe. We can believe anything.
You can. I do like the concept for the song again. It is talking about how different the world is once you're being appreciated and once you start to have a taste of success. But again, the lyrics are so awful that it erases that positive note for me.
Agreed. The other thing that I don't like that erases, I do think if you were listening to the song on its own, I think it's cute. Looking at the show, listening to the song, why like piecing together it with the rest of the track, character-wise, I struggle because what has he learned? Like, how has he grown? Even in the review, he hasn't got better.
No.
He just like maybe just found his people, maybe. But I feel like the moment that he gets any type of bad luck, we're back with woe is me, poor me, poor me, poor me. There was like never a turning point in any of the songs where like we see like the change in a character arc.
Yeah.
And so,
Which goes along with just not being invested and not caring about the characters because there's no arc. They're not interesting.
correct. And so like, okay, he got famous. Do we like him better? Like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my hot take on it.
No, but that's a really important thing to mention, I think, because part of what I had in mind with this podcast is not just saying I don't like this, but why don't we like this? And I think to your point of he has no arc as a character, that makes it a lot harder for us to get invested and to care about him, which makes it a lot harder to care about the show. And
Right,
so,
because he doesn't become a better person.
yeah, or even a more interesting one, or
No.
a funnier one. So
That's so sad.
I'm glad
The New York Times. So sad.
Frank Rich was savage this season. Ooh.
Was it? I feel like there was a new New York Times just had a post for like a theater.
Oh yeah, they got rid of Jesse Green, but I don't think they've announced the new one yet.
Did you apply?
I did not. Somehow I don't think I have credentials to be the head critic for the New York Times yet.
Why not? You have a podcast.
Yeah, that's all they need.
You just need a podcast.
So with these lyrics, the worst one in this song I think is
Your relatives want tickets. Before you just had rickets. There's lines around the block now. You work around the clock now. It's such a different world when they want the things you sell. It's such a different world when you're finally doing well.
what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
What is a ricket? Am I supposed to know what that is?
I believe he's talking about the disease rickets, which is a bone growth disorder from calcium deficiency. It's not something we have in the developed world. I don't know, why are those related? Tickets and rickets. It's like, these words rhyme. Do I have a way to link them thematically? No. Oh, that's all right. I'll just use them anyway.
What rhymes with tickets?
You'd have to probably have two other words like stick its nose in.
Stick it?
Like a dog that wants to stick its nose in, like, that kind of a rhyme. But then just don't use it.
Yeah, I've never. I hope that there was
And
like.
that rhyme is used in the producers in the, actually I don't think it's in the show, but the bonus song at the end of the movie. But it's done much more in a way that makes sense.
They talk about rickets as like.
Like they use that rhyme of tickets and rickets.
You waited forever and finally got tickets to get to your seat. You gotta cross pickets. The guy to your right is frightfully tight. The guy to your left appears to have rickets.
When did that come out?
Well, the movie was 05.
For some reason, I thought producers was way older.
The original movie is from the 60s.
Okay, but that.
And then the musical was 02.
But the
actually.
original movie is not a musical.
It only has Springtime for Hitler.
Got it.
He was 2001 even. It might have been earlier than I think. In my
So
head,
the rickets and tickets came first here.
came first here.
Okay, maybe this inspired the producers.
To
Maybe
use
this
them in a better
show
lyric.
inspired a lot of other shows.
Maybe.
Maybe
There's our lore for
they-
the season.
This show crawled so other shows could walk
And
and
have
then other
rickets.
shows could run.
So I will say I like the energy of this song. This is for me what the energy should have been for the best in the business. Like this, I have something to prove. I'm on the move. I'm driving toward my goal. Not the song for once you've achieved your goal. Because this feels very frantic.
You think they should have swapped it?
And you couldn't directly swap, but this is the idea that they should have, the musical idea they should have used at that point in the story earlier on, I think.
I could get behind that.
Because you have a character whose arc is supposed to be, I have a dream, I work hard to achieve the dream, I get the dream, yay, everything's happy. In that I'm working hard to achieve the dream, you want this kind of a feel of they're working, they're moving, energy, constantly going forward. And then once you're happy, it tends to be grander, more comfortable tempos, I guess. I'm speaking in very sweeping generalities, but
So you'd want it to be more smooth, less.
it doesn't feel like the music for the song and the lyrics and the purpose in the show are matching for me.
I meant correct. I guess it doesn't feel like we're coming down because it's like a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like we have a happy, so it's not like one of those shows where
Yeah, this does not feel like an end of the show kind of vibe.
unless we're like falling off a cliff, right? Like we like I
Yeah.
mean like there are shows where like
That does that, yeah.
where you're like, oh crap, not ready for that.
Yeah.
But we were trying to have a full circle moment in this, right? Like male ingenue, sad, trying to make it blah blah blah, makes it happy ending, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with like where were we going because we're towards the end of the arc, and I feel like we're taking like a small detour as well.
And there's such a change in the attitude. You get better drinks and better food, and they feed you first, and they aren't rude like before.
I will say though, this song, from what I can gather, on the 07 recording, the orchestrations are much better, and it's not just him singing alone. There are like showgirls that are singing some of these lines, And I can picture that, like to your point earlier, of I can see the staging
Yeah.
in the song. In that version, it works a lot better. I still don't think it meets the energy of the moment the way it should, but it's a lot closer than this. And
Agreed.
presumably that is how it would have been. Like he probably just decided to sing the whole thing on this album himself, even though on stage it probably had more people.
Some chorus girls.
Yeah, and I think there are different characters throughout the whole song that are kind of commenting on his
Success. And,
success.
like, yeah.
And that works a lot better than
I could
how the
maybe
song
get
is structured in this version.
I could maybe get behind that then with the chaos of it. I also guess I would have liked to see a little bit more. So we're from New York to like Vegas. Those are very different vibes. I'm like, have you watched Hacks?
No.
It is. So it's like about this woman who just stand up in Vegas, and then she gets like a new writer from LA.
Is this her story?
Maybe, because she needs to get fresh jokes. And part of the plot is like how this LA writer is trying to figure out how to write for Vegas and then write for like a tour. The reason why I bring this up is because I think it would be fun if there was a different vibe from New York and Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes around with like the critic of like, so we're supposed to buy into like he had the shift, but there's been no shift.
Yeah.
And so that could have been fun. That could have been a really good opportunity to like spice things up, change things up. Because Vegas and New York are very different. It would have been like really great to hear that.
Yeah. This is an interesting one, though, because it's not just as simple as what I said before of different from the two versions. They're arranged differently as well. So in the 07 version, again, presumably what was on Broadway, there's a couple lines that are reprising Best in the Business, and they're coming at it from, we're the best in the business, so we always knew you had it in you. Like trying to claim that they were good.
That's so shady.
But that's so smart to have that in the song of the full circle moment of, oh, you talked down to me and now you're trying to act like you're my friend the whole time. That's interesting.
No, yeah, no.
I wish they'd done that.
From like a writing point of view, I agree with that. But like from character wise,
Oh, yeah.
it's a little shady.
But we knew they were shady.
I feel like it's one of those things that like you have to tear them down to build them back up.
Yeah.
Or do they just like him because he's successful now?
Yeah.
And that's showbiz, kid, I guess.
I think it's meant to make us feel glad that he has succeeded to the point that they have come crawling back.
Because
I guess.
what? They've been. How long does
But
this
they're
show?
in New York, so why do they care what he's doing in Vegas?
Correct.
I don't know.
See, these are a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
Is that in the review?
No. Also, I hate a fade out on a cast album and the song fades out.
100%.
Because you don't do that on stage for the most part. Very rarely do you try to do something like that, and usually it's in conjunction with something else starting.
I saw maybe there was another scene that picked up or something.
Maybe. I mean, I think they faded out of dance rather than go into the whole dance sequence. But this, I don't know. Maybe there was more that we cut. I can't imagine wanting more, but
I think it's hard to do a fade out just in general.
yeah.
It's just what you've been wishing. You don't need to audition. Get jobs and reputation. The owner's no relation. It's such a different world when they notice who you are. It's such a different world when you finally reach your star.
And then we get into the finale, which starts with Yvonne, which is a reprise of Gabrielle because she has decided to change her name again.
Because she's. Why can't we go back to Janet?
Right?
Janet is a sensible name.
Yeah, Yvonne does not sound like she can be trusted.
No, it's not. I feel like she's gonna leave again. Also, is she running from something? I want to know what her character development was.
We never get any hint of why she's changing her name so often. It's really weird. Although, I will say, have to hand it to David. He hears that she has a new name, and she's like, no, I want you to call me Yvonne now. And he just does. He doesn't question it. But then he says,
I'd love you if I had to call you Don, but I prefer to call you my Yvonne.
and that's such a bad rhyme again. I hate it.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because we took very different approaches to that lyric. Because I guess I have a very jaded mind. I was like, girl, what are you running from? Are you like a serial killer? Or are you like, what's your past? And so it makes me feel uneasy because like, who are you? Do you have multiple personalities? So like, what is the point? And they talk about it at the beginning of the show with the script a little bit, but they don't really go, and maybe there's more context in like towards the end of the script, but it's hard because it doesn't make me trust her.
No.
Which doesn't make me root for her, just makes me question her. And I feel like it's an unresolved issue to the show, and I don't have the answer. And so it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Well, it had to happen sometime. There's no telling when. It had to happen sometime. That time's here again.
And then the second half of the song then is It Had to Happen Sometime reprise, which I guess it's the most successful reprise. It's not trying to do a whole lot different, but it's not aiming big and failing. It's just aiming for simple and accomplishing simple. Because now getting together and staying together, maybe, it had to happen sometime.
Not if she becomes...
Changes her name and moves on again.
Yvonne wants to be with her, but Gabrielle has no interest. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
It's also, Gabrielle was a terrible opener for the show. This is very weak music for a finale. It's not exciting, it's not interesting, it's not contemplative, it's not sending us out on any kind of specific vibe. It's just like another ho-hum song.
Yes.
That sometime just happens to me now.
I will say the one thing that about the reprise that I think it has going for it is what it did not necessarily have going for it for the first time we heard it, which is like two very different plot points, two very different pages, and then we have come together and we're like singing this like reprise together.
Yeah.
Which actually I think makes me not like the original more because like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is also weird. So this is very different from how it was on Broadway as far as the order of, like, it had to happen sometime, very brief reprise, and then Yvonne, and then something else, I think, another reprise. Oh. And so the 07 version, I think at least partly does that. And it does end in a much more finale kind of way, which is nice, but it still doesn't completely match what's in the playbill, I don't think, because the playbill has it. Oh, no, never mind, I'm wrong. They put in the last scene, It's Such a Different World, It Had to Happen Sometime, reprise, and Yvonne. So the 07 recording is, I assume, what was on Broadway, which at least is better.
And they just called that finale in the 2007.
Mm-hmm. So that's the show. But on this album, we have a bonus track.
On both albums, same person.
It is. It's the same track. I don't think they re-recorded it. I think they just used the same track.
Oh.
It started off without a soul that had a doubt for us. It sort of seemed just like the gods were watching out for us.
But it's Late Night Saga, which is a song that he wrote about the experience of putting late night comic on Broadway. And it's my favorite song of the whole album because it's actually funny. And it feels to me like this is probably what he was doing more of in his act, why he was popular, because this does not feel like he's trying to force it to be something big and grand. He's just goofing around and having a fun time, and then I have a fun time.
Yeah, I feel like it's just pure and like authentic. And I think that's
what was lacking.
Yeah. And it is fun.
They mentioned
the director was 66, producer was 25, and those are things you just can't fix. And that's when you get killed by Clive and Mel.
Maybe that was part of the problem. Then they mentioned firing the director, and I'm pretty sure he quit.
Oh, the drama.
And then he demanded that his name be removed from the program, like from the show. He did not want credit for the train wreck that it became.
He directed? Okay.
Like, I think there were creative differences, and he's like, fine, you can have your way, but take my name off of it. And they're like, all right, we'll do it our way and take your name off of it.
I think what's interesting about him writing this about his experience is, like, it is, like, the opposite of a lot of the songs that are in the show.
Maybe that's why I like it.
No, I wasn't trying to be shady. I wasn't trying to be shady in that moment. I think it's just like David's songs are like a lot of like, woe is me, poor me, poor me, poor me. And with your comment about he wrote this song about his experience and hearing the critics and like knowing how long it like lasted on Broadway, 4 performances.
Couldn't even get a week.
It's a really positive, upbeat song.
Yeah.
And
it's much more of a take it on the chin and learn from it and move on.
Right. And I think that's what the show is missing. So it's just like so ironic.
Yeah.
Is that like the last song, the bonus track, if more of that was in the show, because I think the concept is actually like quite cute, like cheeky and but it's missing like the authentic.
Yeah, it's missing heart.
Yes.
Oh well.
Can't win them all.
No.
But we say goodbye. Roll the windows up and cry.
So, as we said, this had 4 performances at the Ritz Theater, which is now the Walter Kerr. No Tony nominations. Shocking.
Can they even be? They
I'm
could be
not
nominated.
sure how that works, because I know other shows that ran very briefly, like Merrily, Sondheim was still nominated for the score. Anyone Can Whistle, the choreographer was still nominated. I'm
Well,
not sure what the rules are, though.
You have to have like a certain amount of people to see the show for them to nominate it.
Well, I know that's the case now,
Oh, I guess.
but I don't know if that changed at some point.
That's true. I guess I don't know the Tony more like Tony rules.
Yeah, they've kept changing things along the way of trying to make it more fair and be a better process. So
What would have been nominated this season?
nothing would have been nominated for this show.
This season's pretty tough. Like,
Yeah.
it has some like heavy hitters.
I think these are some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard of a show that actually made it to Broadway. And I don't know how anybody didn't tell him, maybe we take another crack at these.
Have you ever listened to any of his other stuff?
No.
There are like he's got an album from like 1992. It's called like Future Songs of Musicals.
Okay. Is it good?
I've only listened to like one song. It wasn't like bad. And so I'm just really curious if it was like, and then he's got like another album from like 1999 or something. So he's produced albums.
Yeah.
I just wonder if it's like the musical theater part of it. I'm not sure.
I mean, there have been several instances of very successful songwriters coming to musical theater and tripping and falling on their faces because it's a very different style of writing music.
it's different style, different like sound,
Yeah.
different like.
You're having to write songs with a purpose. It's not as simple as just, oh, I'm a good songwriter, so I can write a good musical. Like, yes, some people can. Sarah Bareilles can,
So
but not everybody. Like, you have to have both sets of skills. They're not all transferable.
do you know she's writing a new musical?
I know. I'm very excited.
I thought she wasn't gonna write another one.
She might have
She's-
changed her mind.
Waitress was really successful.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I'm very glad that we have this album so that we have a record of the show.
Are you?
Because now I know it's not good. Because if you were, and you are a director doing theater in the community, if you heard about this concept and you're like, oh, this sounds like a good idea for a musical, maybe we'll put this on, and you don't have the cast album, now they can listen to this and be like, oh no, this is bad, we won't do this.
But what if? Okay, so just hear me out. What if this is like the Merrily We Roll Along? Like maybe if it's like maybe this is just not the right time, or it wasn't the right time, and it was like before it in the future.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you're right. Brian Gary is basically Stephen Sondheim, so
Yeah. So maybe with a younger director, I don't even. Yeah. Maybe that this was just
maybe a
before
director
its
named
time.
Jeff.
No. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you want to bring me to Broadway, sign me up. We can make it work. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they had big names in the time. Like Robert Lapone was like
He was well known in Broadway circles, but I'm not sure how big of a name he was outside of that.
well, I meant Broadway circles, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean, like, people doing Broadway, not Broadway patrons as much, because he often had smaller roles in a lot of things.
oh, sure.
Like, he was in a chorus line, but there is not, like, very few, like, Donna McKechnie's the only, like, real standout name that people associate with that show because it's such an ensemble piece.
That's true. Was Patty big? Patty was in Anything Goes that season.
Yeah. That is fun, though. They're on the same
That's
season.
really cute.
Like, Hunter and Sutton Foster and Millie and Urinetown.
Oh, yeah. That's cute.
But she was nominated for a Tony, and his closed after 4 performances.
Did she win the Tony for that? No.
Joanna Gleason won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Should we do some scoring of our own?
Yeah, it's going to be so low.
But we gotta do it. We gotta get through it.
Okay.
All
Hit
right.
me.
So, out of 15 points for music, what would you give this?
What would you give it?
I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours.
No, I don't want to go first. You go first.
No, I don't want to influence you. I already have mine written down.
Oh, I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. Interesting. I went with 5.
Oh, crap.
And you
No, I'm still going to stick
you
with
can
3.
change it if you want.
No. Why are you giving it a 5?
Because while it is very basic and repetitive, that could work with better lyrics, I think.
But it didn't.
But if you just take out the lyrics entirely and listen to the music and you imagine what could go on top of it, it's still not great, but it's not horrible.
I think it's just really hard to determine what song is what.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't mind the vibe.
this is by far the lowest score I've given yet for music.
I know, and then I gave it a
But-
lower score, which is
I don't disagree with you, though.
But I think it's hard because, like, there were times where I was like, oh, I know this song. And then I would have to listen to it again because, like, it's so repetitive.
That's why we had to repeat the song title in the lyrics, because otherwise they are all together.
Correct. And so it's just not memorable. I think that's
Yeah.
what's hard.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the lyrics, though, out of 15 points, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. I went with 2.
Oh, wow. We're on very different pages.
Like I said,
I mean, it's
these
still
are the
like,
worst
it's-
lyrics on Broadway I've ever heard.
Okay, so there were like 2 songs that like I really think are like not terrible. And so that's why the 4 is there.
Okay. Then into performance, technical performance out of 15 points, what is your score?
Of just the album, technical performance of
Just
the album.
the 88 studio album.
Can I break it down in categories? Female versus
And
male.
for yourself, you can, but you have to come up with one score.
I'm going to give it a 4 or 5.
Which one?
I'll give it a 5.
Okay. I went with 4 because most of the album is Brian Gari, and it's not great. And so probably would have been even lower, but the amazing female voices did
I
bump it up a
know.
little bit
That's
for me.
why I was really struggling.
But just, there's such a small portion of the album, they only can bring it up so much.
I think there are moments where Brian, like, it fit the nerdy and like quirkiness of it fits. It's those like high notes and then like the love songs that like I struggle with.
Yeah. Well, then for the voice acting part of it, out of 10 points, what would you give it? And this is partially unfair because it's not the full cast that did it on Broadway doing it here. But for what we're given here,
I'm gonna give like a 3 because there really isn't like the gay character and like the different voices because like there's a lot of characters in that. So I'm gonna give it like a 5.
5. Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 5 because of the ensemble though.
Yeah. I still went with 3
Okay.
because most of the time I'm not getting any character at all from Brian. And Julie sounds gorgeous, but it's not giving a ton of character to me. It's just a pretty voice singing a song.
Sure.
The biggest pro, I think, is Robin Kaiser. She's the only one that's like giving it and actually trying to give a performance and not just sing a song.
Well, I think that the guy that was in the ensemble and then did some of the recording.
Yeah,
I think he
did some as well, yeah.
because with Best in the Business, I think that was very clear that like 4 or 3 different people
Yeah,
or club
characters.
owners. Yeah. And then I think what's the one song that I didn't like about like the sexism?
Having someone.
Having someone. So like I think also in having someone, they do a really good job of making sure like it's different people.
Okay, well then we'll just keep moving on. For storytelling, narrative out of 15 points. So this is specifically how much do these songs feel like they are part of a story, and then we'll separate out how well that story is being told.
I'm
here in
gonna
a
give
second.
it a 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what we
So-
still don't know a lot of the plot.
So that's, yeah, fair. So I give it a 12 out of 15 because most of the songs are specific to the story. They're written like a pop song, but they're not just a pop song that you could throw in at any show, anytime. They're referencing, Gabrielle's referencing the character. He's referencing his journey to be a stand-up comedian. They are telling the story. It's just we're not getting a very good view of what that story is, but we can tell these are not songs from the radio pulled in as a jukebox musical. Because this is kind of more separating it from an actual jukebox musical where they're not tied in at all.
Sure, I hear you. So then I guess I misunderstood the judging on that. If we're talking about just if the show makes sense or if it's telling the story.
Does it feel like a theater album versus a pop album?
Okay, I'll give it like a 6.
Okay. And actually, as I say, and not a pop album, the music is very pop, so I might go down to 11.
But I would argue, like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think, like, with the conversation that we had, that it truly tells the story. I feel like with it being really repetitive.
Yeah. Well, I think that gets into more the next category.
Okay.
The completeness of the storytelling. Are we getting a cohesive narrative that we understand what's happening, what the characters are going through? Do we get a front, beginning, middle, end of it? And I think this is where a lot of what you're saying is the issue if we're not getting a lot of substance from it.
Sure, yeah. Oh, now I'm supposed to rate this one?
Yeah, this one's out of 10.
I'm going to give this a 3.
Yeah, that's what I did as well.
Oh, we're on our page finally for one
Yeah.
of them.
We've been close on others. But yeah, I think it is giving tiny bits here and there. If it wasn't for the song talking about how people treat you better when you're successful, we would have no idea that he was successful at the end because he's not funnier. Also, for a show about a stand-up comic, these lyrics are never funny.
No.
Why?
But I thought that was the joke. I thought that was the point of the show. But like hearing the critic, obviously that's not right. I thought the joke was that he wasn't funny.
Yeah, and I would have expected more jokes in the book scenes, presumably, for him to like actually be doing a stand-up act, and this is kind of more inner thoughts. So I don't necessarily need the songs to be that funny, but they should be more than this.
Yes. So like so the thing that I don't remember if I brought this up or not, but I read the script and I know that I was missing 2 pages, but Gabriella somehow shows up at his apartment and you have no concept of how she got the address, how they got his phone number, like how did she show up? And so like those are the consistencies that I struggle with.
But from the album standpoint, you don't even know that she shows up at his house.
That's true. Touche.
That's never mentioned. Who knows? So now, for uniqueness, out of 10 points, what would you give this?
Is this going to be like uniqueness as like a concept or like uniqueness?
So I introduced this category this season because there are certain kinds of shows that are going to score lower in some of the other categories because they are trying to do something bold and different. Like in this season, things like Serafina, which is a protest musical from South Africa, is not going to match evenly with a typical Western musical. And so I wanted to have a way to kind of balance that a little bit for shows like that are trying something really different.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say it's like a 6.
6?
I'm going to say it's unique in the fact of not lyric-wise, not music-wise. I'm going to say like it's unique on like concept-wise. I think that the idea could potentially be successful.
Yeah.
And like it is like scooping up from a world. It's not based on a movie. It's not based on like it was like a unique thought process.
That's true.
Like, and so like I can get behind that because I think what we fall into now, right, is like we're running out of ideas. And so like we're making everything into a musical. And so I do think that the concept is unique.
Okay. I bumped mine up to a 3 for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was at a 2 because the music, focusing especially on the album, the music sounds like a much worse version of a lot of what was going on in the 80s for what they were putting on the stage. There was a lot of very 80s synth pop, just Starlight Express, things like that were doing this more successfully to varying degrees. And so it feels like it's trying to kind of jump on that bandwagon a bit, but not in a good way. But I will give you that it's an original concept, not just copying a play or a movie. So I'll give it the extra point for that. For the audio quality of this album, out of 5 points, what would you give it?
Like a 2?
Okay. Tell me more.
For A to be also recorded like that far back, like I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's like...
So this I see more as you start with 5 and take deductions for issues you have with the album.
Okay. What are your thoughts? And then maybe...
So I give it a 5. Of all of my problems with this album, none of them were related to the recording quality. It wasn't like, oh, it's really hard to hear him in this point. The mix is bad. Or, oh, it's really echoey here. Or things like that. We heard them. It just wasn't great what we were hearing. But from the audio engineer's perspective, I think it was done as well as it could be.
Okay, definitely not a sound guy. So then I would say I would say more of a 4. Or
okay.
I guess I would have liked to have a better balance of some of the ensemble moments. Because I don't
That's very fair.
I don't think there were, obviously the 2007 has a lot more like variety and like color, but there were moments where I think that like we could have amped the balance between those a little bit.
Okay. And then last, the artwork for the album, out of 5 points, what would you give it?
0.
0.
1? No, I'll give it a 1. I don't like it.
I also went with 1. It is not selling you on the album. It's not representing the album or the show. It's not selling you on the show, not representing the show. It's very weird looking and confusing and ugly.
But I will say that I like it better than the playbill.
The playbill's real bad, yeah.
I don't like the mustache.
Like Man in the Moon vibe. It's weird. But I don't understand why he's got that pose that he's standing in on the cover of this album, and why there's just an outline of Gabrielle, sort of like a constellation across the moon.
In the moon.
But it's not limited to the moon, so it's just kind of like overlaying.
He's holding like a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like he's like trying to like stretch out, be cool. The moon is supposed to be like the late night.
Yeah,
right?
that part I get. But why is she just an outline up in the sky?
Maybe Gabriella doesn't even exist.
Ooh.
And it's all just like this.
There's your interesting take.
And it's all this like he has like invented this girl
in the insane asylum the whole time.
And all of these women that have different names are actually just different women, and he's trying to make them Gabriella.
Ooh.
That's gonna be my make them Janet. That's gonna be my hot take.
You know what's really funny? We had very different views on the scores of this album, and we both ended up at 37 points.
Oh, weird.
We just got there by different
That's
routes.
true. 37 out of
Out of 100.
Okay.
It's not good.
Whoops.
The podcast is about diving into all that Broadway has to offer, not just the good.
Listen, I could never do this. So kudos for him for trying.
Yes.
Like, I could never write a show.
Me either. So thank you for trying, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
This has been a pleasure, and you thought we wouldn't have enough to talk about.
I know. I was really worried because, like,
You're not the first.
I was trying to be as prepared as possible, but it was a hard show to prepare for.
In some ways, yes, but also the songs are so simple that it didn't take as many listens as some other albums for me to feel like I had the gist of it.
Oh no, I feel like I listened to it so many times and I was still like, what is this song? What's happening?
Yeah, but not because the song is complicated.
That's true.
So, Jeff, if people want to stay in touch, follow what shows you're doing, things like that, what would be a good way for them to do so?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Jeff_A_Anderson. Yeah, next show is going to be Sunday Music to Ashland in Maplewood.
Wonderful. When is that?
The show will be up in December 6th or something like that.
All right.
3 weeks.
Wonderful. Well, you can follow the podcast on Instagram at Little Things You Hear Together. You can email me, littlethingsyouheartogether@gmail.com. Please subscribe, rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. That is very much appreciated. The next episode will be the 1988 original Broadway cast album of Chess. So that'll be a fun one.
Oh, yes, especially because it's coming back.
I know. So tune in next week for that. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for being here. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks.